I'd like to call to order the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills, September 12th, 2017 at 8 p.m. The notice was posted at the town hall, the North End Boat Launch, the cul-de-sac on Finch Brothers Road, and also on the town's website. Item 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt September's agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The agenda is adopted. Item 3, approval of the minutes. Man, I didn't really go over these.
I'll make a motion to approve August minutes.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the minutes? Any questions?
Nope.
Hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes as published, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Item 4, approval of the treasurer's report. I'll motion to approve the September 2017 treasurer's report.
Second.
Is there any discussion or any questions?
Just one little comment, I guess. Dino dock and lift, boat launch
Yeah, I
violation.
saw that too. I made him check by it.
What, I actually noticed that when
This-
Kevin, I stopped in here and Kevin was here and I said, oh, I can't believe they, he said if they would have called, he would have dismissed it, but they,
Yeah.
whoever it was that issued it didn't know that it was Dino Doc. And I don't know if it was a car that just, like a business vehicle that they owned that wasn't attached to the, anything that's, didn't have any indication on it.
Right.
It wasn't until the check came that they knew.
It's funny. Dino Doc is our vendor who takes care of putting our pier in and out. Now we're giving him a ticket at our launch.
He's gonna raise his price $25.
I'm surprised.
Well, but the amount of business that they do on Rock Lake, they darn well can afford to put a sticker on there.
I saw that and I thought, well, somebody.
I checked it
Possible
too,
they weren't
Dave.
working for us at the time, too.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, you want to look out for
You
Dino.
guys be careful.
So there's motion on the floor to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, same sign.
Who seconded that?
Dave did. Didn't you?
He did
What's
not.
that? No, I second.
I made the motion.
Yeah, Hope did.
Yep.
All right, next on agenda is item 5, approval of the general funding vouching.
I'll make a motion to approve September's disbursements of $67,826.91.
I'll second.
Are there any questions or discussion? Seems like everything's going along okay with the payroll thing. I know we've had a little
Well, we had
struggle,
one
but
snag this time, but
it's all going okay.
it's fine, yeah.
All right. All in favor of approving the general funding vouching, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The vouching is carried. Item 6, reports. Matt, the police report.
For the monthly boat patrol, we had 79 and a half hours on the water. We had 91 and a half hours total with administrative hours doing the paperwork for the boat patrol. Issued 4 citations for boating, 4 warnings on the boat, and conducted 10 safety inspections. For the road patrol, we had 52 hours. We handled 6 complaints. We had 3 custodial arrests. We had 30 traffic stops, 13 warnings, and 25 citations. Ran 21 hours of radar stationary. We issued 4 ordinance citations, conducted 17 residence checks, and 27 park checks. We also ordered the new squad, which should be here in November. And I'll get the final bill, which I'll give to the board here shortly, about $29,500.
Can I get the specs for the insurance company, too?
Yep. You need one for the insurance company too, you said?
I need, well, just something that has
Sure.
the details.
And I don't have the VIN, I don't have nothing, I don't have any of that
okay.
information yet.
Okay.
But as soon as I get it, I just finalized it on that.
What did you decide to get, Matt? A
That's
pickup
that
truck?
Ford F-150.
The F-150, okay.
Yeah, special service vehicle. Also, the board needs to give me direction as to how they wish to dispose of the current squad, which will probably be in December or January. When months we'll convert it over. If they want me to put it on a government site to bid it out for resale, or how they wish to proceed with
Does
that.
that have to be on the November meeting? To get permission from the electors?
Yeah.
Yes. And we can talk about that at our budget meeting, so make a note of that,
Yep.
that we're gonna talk about the disposal at the budget meeting. Hey, Matt, thanks a lot for all the work on getting that going and getting ahead of the game on the buying pool.
No problem. Other than that, that's about it.
That's good. Anybody have any questions for Matt? Any concerns?
There's a lot of citations for the road.
Yeah, they've been busy.
Was there a particular area of focus or?
No, I mean, they're hitting a lot on B and G yet.
Okay.
Highway B especially is a real busy road for us. And ordinance tickets were issued all up to Lake Oasis. We've had a lot of problems in there out there.
Thanks. I'll give a little bit of the Joint Rock Lake Committee report. I attended their meeting. They did not have a quorum, but there were still some people there that were concerned about the beach warnings, and hopefully that committee will be able to work with the city on that. The one thing that was positive at our meeting last week was that there was a representative from the city council there who did agree to help us work on the legislation that we have, the two ordinances, the ice driving ordinance and the pier ordinance. So that was really very positive. And the other thing that I guess I would like to say some thank yous to and about, part of what we as a town have participated in with the city in the Clean Boats, Clean Waters program has come to a very successful conclusion this year. We made our goal early in September to cover 200 hours at both launches, the Sandy Beach launch and the North End launch, plus a whole bunch of other hours that were spent on the other launches. We had 3 really great helpers with that this year. 2 of those have said that they would like to come back next year, so that's a real victory. Also, another thing that's going to go on that I thought was really pretty interesting is they're going to do a landing blitz during duck hunting season, so that duck hunters are aware of the invasive species that they may drag in on their decoys, their camouflage, their clothing, their boats. And so that's something that I made the decision that we would pay for. Because we're really at the end of our grant money, right? We pretty much have fulfilled the grant for
We're
this year.
talking about, what, a couple hours?
Yeah, we're going to do that Saturday, which I think
12
is,
bucks an hour, so.
I think it's the 3rd Saturday in September. So that should be good. And I was just so tickled that we had some really good helpers, and a big thank you to you for all the details
There you
and the payroll. A big thank you to Patricia Cicero for keeping that all together and doing the training and getting us all the supplies and stuff. And a big thank you to the public for just being open to them. I think it would be fun to hear what they have to say. Making cold calls on fishermen at 6 in the morning can't be an easy job. Anyway, I thought it was really successful, and I thought that we probably would try to partner with the city again next year and do the same thing. As long as we have 2 returning recruits, that should be something that we'll discuss within our budget and later on in our budget meeting. The Planning Commission report, Lee.
Yeah, we met on September 5th, and we'll be talking about 8A, it's discussion and decision on the conditional use permit of Benjamin and Stacy Schweigart for multi-family residential condo development at W7990 County Road B. It passed 5-0 with 2 provisions, one being the 35-foot wetland setback, and also to ensure proper, vision on the County B at the end of that driveway. That was the other concern. And that was it. And I guess we did decide on a date for that meeting with
Right.
the city manager, the 20th.
So we're going to have this special meeting about our boundary agreement on the 20th at 7:30. And Steve Wilkie is coming here. I have not yet talked to him about what materials we need to have, but I think we need to kind of work on that. Make sure that we have the right stuff to read ahead of time, and you and I will confer about that after the meeting, okay? You're not the chairperson of that committee, Lee, but you are going to be there, right?
The 20th, yes.
Yeah. And I guess I'll have to talk with Steve a little bit. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit after the meeting too, what we'd like to cover that night. What we're trying to do is put together a little meeting. We have a boundary agreement with the city of Lake Mills, and we would like to examine that, kind of bring our staff on our planning committee up to snuff with that. I would encourage that anyone who's interested attend so that we can hear it from the horse's mouth. And the other thing that I did in preparation for this is I thought I would get Mark Sewell a little bit more involved so that he knew where we were at in case we have some things come up. I think we need some legal representation that is a little bit educated in what we're doing here. So I have not been able to sit down and talk with him, but it is part of what I would like to have happen, is to have him around so that he understands as we go forward what our legal advantages are or disadvantages are. Our boundary agreement is, geez,
It's really old.
it's about 15 years old, and things are starting to kind of come push to shove.
Because Attorney Schmeiser helped write that, and
Is it older than 20?
yeah, he
No.
passed away quite a while ago, so, yeah.
Well, it's time to revisit it, and we're gonna hear that from Steve, which is probably gonna be a little different than we'd like to hear, but it is they are the powers that be, and so that's kind of what I'm hoping to gain that night. I was wondering too if we could have a little video coverage of that. I don't know. How do I go about that?
For that matter.
You'd have to talk to my boss.
We'll talk about this after the meeting. Anyway, one day at a time. Are there any other committee reports?
Cambridge Fire
You
EMS.
guys go to more closed sessions than anyone I know.
There's another one coming up on the 27th of this month, but this one might be a little more exciting than the other ones have been. Anyway, we met on the 30th of August. Financially, we're doing pretty well. All the accounts have been funded, and in the general fund, we still have $85,729 in it. So we're doing pretty well for this time of the year. There's gonna, part of the meeting on the 30th, we had approached Attorney Stephen Zach to help write a new intergovernment agreement, and I'll try to get that stuff to you guys sometime after our meeting on the 27th, because hopefully we can bring it into our October meeting, because in kind of some of the closed section developments, we need to get the intergovernment agreement revisited, rewrote, or just updated, and get that done before January 1st. And a lot of it has to do with who do the employees work for? Do they work for the commissioners? Do they work for the EMS board? Do we go to stipends? Do we go to payroll, 1099s, W-2s? So it gets quite involved, right? It's some pretty heavy duty stuff, enough to really confuse almost anybody. But anyway, so hopefully we can get that to you. And then on the meeting also on the 27th, we're going to do the budget so that we'll have that ready to go too. So.
Thanks for serving on that board, Dave.
Oh, it's been a joy. Some days.
Yeah. Okay, but thanks. Anything else that should come for us as far as the report goes? I really want to figure out if we really have an ETZ committee or what the deal is with that.
Well, there was always one person, usually a town board member, that was appointed to be on that, but generally that
I don't think there's been
it doesn't
any
hardly
there.
ever meet.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the things
it's
that we'll
been
need to cover when we
Like,
talk
once
with
in 4
Steve.
years, I think it's met.
I just wonder where like the zoning issue went with,
Camera's on.
I know. You know who I mean,
Yep.
No?
north of town. Steve Holman.
Oh, okay.
I just wonder where that all went, you know, because I haven't heard anything. And, you know, that goes back to us trying to communicate a little better with the city. So I'm looking forward to having Steve come and give us his objectives here. Item 7, a period of public comment and questions for anything that is not on the agenda for discussion only. Anybody in the audience would love to come forward and talk to us about anything? I am pretty sure we're gonna have some phone calls about the seal coating that was going on at 7:45 this evening, okay?
No, I did have 3 different constituents talk about the oak on Shorewood Hills, that dead oak. I should go out towards
Yeah,
S.
well, there's like maybe 3.
Oh, yeah. I did talk to
Yeah.
Butchie Crossman about that, and he said that he was interested in maybe taking that tree down. I think the
Yeah, I
next
got
one.
an interested party too. that would
Okay,
like it.
yeah.
Oh, so the wood is hot.
Yeah, so I don't think they're necessarily,
That's all I wanted to know.
Also, the tree, the next one to the west is not looking so good.
No. they
There's
aren't.
3 that
Yeah.
are peaking, and I'm waiting for the others. You know, we had them trimmed,
yeah.
and I guess I'll say I feel bad that we even touched those darn things. But
I
at
don't
the
know.
same time, when we trim them, all 3 or 4 of them have some kind of twisted crotch or split crotch, or they were never in the best shape,
No.
but they sure are going this year. So everyone wants to cut them down, huh?
Well, one would like to, you know, have a shot at it, you
All
know,
right.
and then the 2 others just mentioned it.
Well, that
they
would
should-
save us all a whole bunch of money, so that's good. Let's wait till the foliage goes off the trees, and I'm pretty sure the 3 of them are done.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to wait until the crop is off there.
Sure, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is like
It's
a
a winter
winter
project.
Yeah.
project, sure.
Man, I hate to see them go. Just the way it is. Okay, item 8, review of applications filed. Item 8, discussion and decision on a conditional use request of Ben and Stacy Schweigert for a multifamily residential condo development at W7990 County Highway B. Hello, Jay.
Attorney Jay Smith, representing Pavement and Stacy Schweigert on this request. First of all, I guess I thought this might be, we have some modified plans from what was submitted based on what the feedback of the plan commission, so I thought I could provide some kind
Okay.
of copies of those. Take a look at.
Hey Jay, thank you for providing so many copies in the first place.
Yeah,
Very
because they're
helpful.
big and it's hard for us to do. We don't have the
No, yeah, I know.
capacity.
I figured it'd be appreciated.
Chair?
The odd thing was the county said the exact opposite. They only want one. She wouldn't take any more. So,
Well, because
was-
she's worried about her file cabinet.
yeah, well, that might be. I
I'm
don't
worried
know.
about mine too.
All I know is Deb Maggard said, I'm taking one and that's it. Oh, I have more in front of it. Okay, so we were here and it did, as was reported earlier, pass the plan commission for this conditional use permit. Just to recap for any that didn't hear, we're seeking a conditional use permit. This is zoned residential already, but we're looking to do multifamily residential, which falls under a conditional use in this area. And then would be coming back eventually, well, obviously have to get the conditional use through the county as well, and then would be back to the town and county on with a condo plat. Right now, our proposed plans includes 13 units. That includes 12 new units, new buildings, 2, they're duplex style, so 2 units in each building, and then maintaining the existing, but with significant renovations, the cottage up near the road, as it's marked on there, unit 13. In terms of the issues that came up with the Plan Commission, one is, I guess, I'm hoping an easier issue on the vision aspect. If you go out there, there isn't really any vision issues on the west side and where the driveway borders right on the neighboring property. There's a couple of trees there, but they're well maintained and back a little bit from the road, and there's really not any vision issues. Any vision issues would be the other direction, which would be controlled by my clients because they own the property there, that they could trim it up on the east side, if I'm getting my directions right. And then the other thing that was Another thing that was mentioned was sewer capacity, because it would be the city sewer. I did talk to Dan Drescher, who got confirmation from, I believe, from Strand, their engineers, and whomever they need to talk to, but there's no capacity issues in that location for the city on a sewer system. They could definitely handle 13 new residential units, which actually it would only be 12 new ones, because there is a house that would be removed back there. One of the struggles here is the wetlands, as was brought up, and the 35 feet that was requested by the Plan Commission for us to stay 35 feet away from any wetlands. As you'll see on the new, we've revised it so that I think our closest was about 20 feet away from any wetlands on the prior version. Is now 30 feet away in every location, 35 in most. I know that may not be ideal, but we're hoping that we can do that, because otherwise it gets really difficult. And I will point out the 35 feet that's a navigable water standard. We're obviously not talking about navigable water. We're talking about wetlands, and frankly, not highly sensitive wetlands as far as I guess I'm a lay person in that respect, but they're I think these are not, highly sensitive in terms of wildlife and things like that. So there's that issue. We are working there was also a question on some driveway access, because it does, as it exists, if we're using that, it encroaches a little bit onto the neighboring property owned by Donna Tarnitzer. We've been in contact. We thought maybe her daughter would be here tonight, but it's been good conversation so far. Nothing set in stone, but hopefully we can work that out. And in a worst case scenario, we would have to move the road farther, or the driveway farther over. But we've had good communications there and trying to figure out what'll work with them. So those, I think, that covers the issues that I had written down as being kind of the concerns that came up with the Plan Commission. And again, I'll repeat what I said there. We're just seeking a conditional use permit now in a concept sense. The county will see this again, obviously, on a conditional use permit, and then in the condo plat, where there will be probably more details if details need to be hashed out on access. I've talked to the highway department too. He had not. I gave that to him several weeks ago, but he went on vacation last week, but gave me some quick feedback, was that he thought maybe a taper would be required in the front of the property, so like I guess that's a pared down turn lane essentially is what a taper would be, but that was kind of his gut reaction at first. This was from Brian at the highway department in the county, but he hadn't reviewed it in detail yet. And from Rob Klotz's standpoint in the zoning office, I think highway department was where he wanted to know their feedback as much or more than anybody. To think we're in the right location, this is the expansion area. There's obviously condos along there and all residential. It's already zoned residential.
So the driveway, you're shooting for a 22-foot full driveway, right? That's why
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it would be now, yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you on your access there. The other thing is, it is 35 miles an hour there, so it's not, horrible.
Right, we want to be aware of that and just be careful with that issue. I mean, we're going to, obviously, I can't deny that we'll add some traffic, but we don't think it's going to be too much. I mean, there's not that many units, and these are not going to be, the target clientele with these units are such that, we may be seeing some snowbirds that are only there part-time. They're going to be higher end. We think that they're just not going to generate a ton of traffic, and hopefully not the type of traffic that is more concerning. I can't promise that, but that's what we think in general terms is what's going to happen.
Well, you're going to have more traffic because you're going to have 13 units, so you're going to have more traffic, but there's already traffic there.
All 30 or 40 cars aren't going to be leaving at the same time, so.
Right, I kind of...
Unless it's a school day. It seems like everybody, yeah.
Let's drive slow anyway.
That's true, but then again, that's our client. We don't think that...
That's not who you're marketing to? All right.
No, and I could speak to, probably Stacy Schweigert here and Erica could speak more to that, but, with the development that this would really be very similar to that went up by the golf course up there, I know for a fact, I would say, 90% of those people are retired, and so there's not little kids living there.
All right, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
And it's just food for thought, because I understand what we're really discussing tonight is the conditional use. We're not going any further into design, but there's a couple of things I just thought we should look at here. First of all, I'll just say this out of the top of my head. 13 is a bad number in my book. If one has to go, it's the roadside one. It just got bad karma. Sorry. Well, and I mean, in a practical sense, I think that is stretching it. I understand. How are we going to handle the wells for these things? Are we going to have one central well? Is everyone going to have their own well? How's this work? And you don't have to answer that question tonight, it's just something I was thinking about.
That's good, I appreciate that.
35 feet, I thought I heard Steve Nass say the other night, 35 feet is your golden setback.
Well,
I don't know how you're going to get that through the county. And then let's talk a little bit about wetlands. You know, you guys said this the other night, and I just kept my mouth shut. These wetlands around Rock Lake this is basically not just water standing someplace. We know that water was impounded when the roadway went through, but all around Rock Lake, there are wetland soils. And so it's really the hydric soils that we're looking at.
Okay.
And the capacity that those hydric soils have to handle the runoff. And I guess we've seen this very clearly in the last few weeks with all this hurricane stuff. You know, 50% of the wetlands in the Houston area are compromised. They're only 50 feet above sea level. We're a lot higher than sea level, but these hydric soils are the soils that we depend on to take care of that runoff. So it's not that that water is just impounded there. Those are the soils that we're stuck with, and that's what we have to work with in order to handle the runoff. So I'm pretty sure you're going to have some pushback from the county on that.
Okay.
35. I think 35 is generous, and I think you're right about the navigable stream. You know, that's a different story than this. Okay, that's a good segue to, I heard what Stacy said last week about the lake rights. This is in my mind, a conundrum. Because if you have two piers on this 75 feet, you're going to be in violation of our new pier law. But you've still got those two piers. You're saying that you're going to have two piers and access for 4 boats, and you're going to sell that along with each one of those condos. I wonder how that's going to fly. I just wonder if you shouldn't be thinking about a lottery or something like that, so that if I bought one of these condos and I want to place a boat, sure, I'd pay more for that with my condo, but how are the rest of them going to feel about that? I just wonder. I'm not even going to go there with you. That's something you guys got to think about.
We'll have to think about that, and that's a good thought, because I've thought of the same thing. I mean, it's easy to stick them to one unit and continue that way, but what you're saying makes sense too as another option.
We've had condo, in my experience, we've had other condo proposals in this same area. There was some land that looked very developable for this kind of multifamily housing. But one of the stipulations was that they had to cross a wetland area and there was going to be no access to the lake. This is a little different. I just think you need to think about that. I am not opposed to the conditional use, but I think there's a whole heck of a lot more work that has to be done in the condo plat. And I guess every time you reduce the size or the shape or whatever you're going to be marketing, it's going to affect the value down the line. That may change from these 13 units, but I still am not opposed to the idea of multifamily development.
General concept.
It's it's always been kind of a clinker of a lot.
Well, and as you know, it presents other issues for separating those two homes. If this didn't work as a condo plat, there's really would
Yeah, it's
require a
messy.
variance that's probably not going to get granted to separate the two, and there's issues there. So, we'd certainly work through it. I guess I would, of all those points are very, that's great. Is if the 35 feet, I believe what Steve Nass was referring to was using that from the navigable water, 35 feet as a standard. That, I guess I would say maybe it's the county's call on what they're going to tell us there. I just know that with what we would like to do, that's going to be quite difficult. Per the engineer, he's not here tonight, obviously, but what he can fit in there and stay away from these wetlands. I think we changed some of it and got it to within. Yeah, I guess there's a few spots there where it's 30. Tried to get to 35 as often as possible. but we do have a few there, so.
Yeah, well, it's something we'll need to think about. There was some internet conversation in between the planning committee members. I don't know if you want to bring that up, Lee. There was some discussion about the size of the cul-de-sac that comes from our ordinance, and here again, I think we're going to need some legal representation on this, and I am proposing that we work with Mark Sewell again on this development, so.
The driveway, that's going to remain private, right? It's going to be maintained by you guys? Because I would imagine that, I'm assuming the town is not going to be interested in
No,
having it.
we're not proposing that, no, it would be a private drive maintained by the association.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a private driveway now, so. it
Right,
has been
yeah,
for
yeah.
20 plus
Just
years.
curious.
Yep, yeah, we're not asking to rededicate anything.
All right, yeah, and then you got a whole lot more to do, so it's just, a preliminary thing. So, I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use request, for the condo plat for, or conditional use for Ben and Stacy Schweigert.
And I'll second that. Now, is there any other discussion? Lee?
Well, I'm good. I'm in favor of this, and
You're not even gonna see it back there hardly.
no, you can't, and I'm not really necessarily a fan of the lottery. I think that will create a lot of problems, and the maintenance of it and everything will be an issue. And I think if you attach it to the condos, I think that'll be
Well, I think
increase the value, but.
Just food for thought.
those are questions that, yeah, I think we can work
Food
through.
for thought.
But, sir, yeah, absolutely, we'll listen.
And here's another thing, just to say this out loud, and I've said it to you before, it would sure be nice if we could lay out a timeline so that we all have time. It takes time for the engineers to react, it takes time for the county, and I don't want to get in a situation where anyone is in a nitswit because we're not acting swiftly enough. Let's just make sure that we have an understanding of where we're going and how we're going to go about it.
I can work on that, I certainly know that, yeah, we would try to do that, and trying to approach this maybe a little different.
In a business-like way.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Things.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right.
Mark, fine, can I, no, I won't make it.
This one's probably a little simpler.
Yeah, this will be a lot simpler. But it's good, that we,
You're on camera.
Yeah.
in your timeline, it's very important that we understand that because we only meet once a month, committee, and so does the county, So we just need to be on the same page.
Sorry, I'm interrupting because I think you guys still had to.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor.
We're still in the discussion phase.
Yeah,
so
go
if you
ahead,
have a
you got some
question-
questions?
Question is just about, just clarification on the cul-de-sac. You think we're looking a little too small in the
Well, I
cul-de-sac?
think you need to look at our ordinance very closely. Look at our ordinance, kick that around. We can talk about that too. You have questions for me, you know how to reach me.
Yep.
So we have a motion on the floor. I don't believe we need to have a roll call on this, so all in favor of the conditional use request with the caveats that the planning commission added.
That would be, need for all proposed buildings to be a minimum of 35 feet from wetlands on the property. And you said something else. Oh, here, use is contingent on establishing a clear vision entrance to County Road B with approval of the entrance plan by the State Highway Department. Is it state or county?
It's county.
That's
Yeah.
county.
All right,
Yeah.
you got that?
Yep.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you
Stay
for
in touch.
attending. I just hate it when you go home, you might miss something fun.
Nice, there's not much left.
Are they asleep yet?
Like I told you guys last week, there's plenty of places.
There's
on
bars,
the bay.
right?
Hide for a little bit.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, we look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 9, old business. A, update on 2017 road work discussion and decision as needed.
Here's your
Oh,
latest.
man.
I didn't get the date changed, but
So just for
As of
public
today.
record, we are having some seal coating done on the adjacent roads to Shorewood Hills, and that was still going on at the time I left my home this evening. And I'm sorry that we didn't get any notice out. We did not know about it until yesterday morning.
I did put it on the website, and when I did the e-blast, a month and a half ago, I said, these
It's
things
coming.
are happening, watch the website for updates, and it was on there, so.
Okay.
We did something, did what we could.
Okay, so that's the seal coating. And we have the first coat of pavement on Nouveau Road. And as you all know, we discovered that there was going to be some logging done on Nouveau Road. And so I reacted pretty strongly. Seems that they just need to, we do have in place a Class B highway travel permit. And I was notified that this pulp was going to be moved down the road by Dennis with Payne and Dolan. And Dennis's recommendation to me was that we postpone the second coat of asphalt until the lumber was removed. And so I asked the pulp company to fill out the form and bond, and here's the stuff. Doesn't mean anything, anyone can drive 98,000 pounds down a highway.
They have business on that road, and what was the bond, 25,000? Is that what you did, or what?
No, there is no bond, they didn't offer it to me.
Oh.
They just paid a permit fee.
So I said, we're keeping track of that road, if we have to, we'll have to take you to court to recoup our damages.
So far, it seems to be holding up pretty well,
that's
but
fine.
I don't think they're gonna be getting all of those logs removed by the end of September.
Well, that's what I asked them to do, and,
Because Dennis wants to come back in around the 1st of October before it
Right.
gets too cold, right?
right. So I'm just working with them, that's all I can do. You know, I really thank you, Matt, for helping me.
I know.
Exactly. Opportunity.
Just the way it is. I feel bad that Joe wouldn't have said anything to us. That's the only thing I feel bad about. So then that's going on. Conservation Road is complete. Today I had a little meeting with our county executive about Fourth Lane for next year, and we have an understanding there. So we got some planning to do for road work for 2018.
Has the county been kind of keeping Fourth Lane mowed a little bit?
Yep,
That's what I thought.
and our mower is out. I told
Yeah.
him to go out. He can get started.
Yeah, it looks good.
Anything else on the road work? So I'll wait to hear. Item B, update on the loan for our construction work.
I did a follow-up, and it turns out that the accountant and the loan officer didn't communicate quite right, so it's in process still.
Okay, all right. I don't think we have
Still
any,
going.
we don't have a bill in hand yet.
Well, we
so-
have Conservation Road, which I cut the check for, but that was that one actually came in under bid,
Yeah,
and I figured that one was okay to pay. Figured you would tell me if it wasn't. But yeah, we won't have Nouveau Road now for another month, so being delayed on the loan wasn't a big deal.
the county is estimating that next year we're gonna have We're gonna have almost $35,000 in our
Well, what's
County reserve,
27,000
34,500.
plus
There it is.
3788 plus 3788?
town of Lake Mills will have 34,500. I said I thought that was over.
Yeah, no, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll use that towards this project. They're still working on the survey. I said, I'm not sure we have, they're proposing a 20-foot roadway. I'm not sure we have that much right-of-way there. I'd like to know where the right-of-way is. I've been kind of bugging on him. Anyway, so the loan, we don't have any paperwork to sign. We don't have to think about that until tomorrow.
October, I would imagine.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, it should, it'll be in October.
Okay. Item 10, new business, schedule a fall road tour Lee's got some conflicts with travel, and so do I. Let's look at the schedule of fall budget workshop 2. It's gonna be complicated. Or it's gonna get late in the month.
And that's where it should be anyway.
Yep.
Things will
We
be
don't-
better when we
we
have it
won't
late
have-
in the month.
Yeah, we won't have a lot of the details we need until then anyway.
Exactly.
I am gone until the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And Lee, you'll be back by then, right?
I will be, yeah.
So it's gonna have to be
Halloween.
26, 27, 30, 31. I don't know.
Yeah, perfect.
How about 30?
Yeah, I'm gone the 26th, 27th, so 30's good.
Okay.
30 for the workshop?
Yeah.
Of October.
Geez, I've been September. I'm like, okay.
And fall road tour. Ish.
You wanna do it with leaves on the trees or
I want to do
off
it
the trees?
November, the first week of November.
They didn't set a
We have to wait, or we have to do it
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, I think so, if it works for everybody.
It's up to you guys. Lee's gone the first week in October, right?
Yeah, well, I'm gone the 7th through the 14th of October.
Oh, so you're not gonna be here for next October's meeting?
Not the 10th, no. And then Hope's gone the following week.
And I'm gone the next week. Let's look at the first week in November. Is that horrible?
No, it's fine.
Where you're gonna be right up to your knees in corn?
I hope so.
Or you'll be done?
Well, I don't know. It could be either way. It depends what the weather's gonna do.
Well, Tuesday's planning.
Tuesday's the
We'll be
31st.
losing light big time. We're gonna
Well,
take a
daylight
Saturday.
savings is the 5th.
What about Saturday the 4th? That sounds just horrible. I think that's the bike ride or the run.
It's
That's
the
no
run.
The
good.
run.
That's no good. Okay, pick a day, any day.
You gotta wait, what are you waiting for, or what is the ideal condition? Are you, like leaves off the trees, or just before the snow?
No, time,
Just time?
just before it snows. Don't even say that word, that's a 4-letter word.
Wow.
If you want to do it during the day, I mean, I have an abundance of vacation days I can take.
Do ya?
Well, not an abundance, but I have some.
What about,
Oh, how fun.
what about yet this month?
Let's do it.
Oh,
You're gonna see how much the trees are hanging down into the road, and then it's gonna kind of simulate the snow on branches.
Saturday, the 23rd of,
Saturday.
well, when else you gonna get this done? You're not around, you don't have
I
to do
don't have
it.
to do it.
well, like the 22nd or something during the day, or,
Friday?
yeah,
Swell.
take off, but I don't know about Dave.
No, I'm okay. I have
You
commitments.
won't be picking any corn yet.
The 20th and 27th, so I can't do that. I think I have a 14th, I can't do it here. But yeah, that'll be fine, 22 will be fine.
22 or 29 is good for me, or if need be.
Let's go for the
20
22nd.
Yeah, 22 would be better for me.
What time? For both of those meetings.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds
Hit
good.
the road, I
8
might as well
a.m.
get car sick early.
Okay, and the budget meeting?
That one we were gonna
The
do
30th.
the
30th.
30th of
And
October.
What time?
6 o'clock.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, do we want to look at all, want to spend a little time with this? No?
22, right?
There's nothing much to do with it, really. Just, we've got some signs still, sign bills coming yet. The
Yeah.
county's a little behind. What else? I think potholes are done and on there.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any more brushing coming.
I try to get him all the
But
time.
as far as
It does,
road
it
work,
does.
we've paid for conservation, we'll have to pay for the stuff they're doing tonight, which would be $57,000 and change, right here. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
conservation came in under, And then we got Nouveau yet hanging out there, so we're spent, we're done.
Okay. All right, anybody got a board expense sheet?
No, but I have a request. I am getting help with the new computer tomorrow, and I'd like to pay him. It's $40 an hour, and I don't know how many hours it's gonna be, but I wouldn't imagine it's gonna be more than, what, somewhere between $100 and $200. Can we do a out of sequence or outside the town board meeting check for that, like a not to exceed or something? Sign it tonight?
Yeah, would you like to do a not to exceed $200?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so Dave just made that motion and I seconded it.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? You got the computer.
I have it, and
You
I
just need to
found
get
a
it
very
transferred over.
reputable person to help me with it.
All right, wonderful,
and
perfect.
It's happening tomorrow.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Okay, correspondence.
Correspondence. We've got, this is from an email you sent to me on Act 211 from our Safe Built, our building inspector contractor. Is there anything that do we need to talk about on this?
No,
They've
because
got it covered.
they're supposed to come back to us with some suggestions.
Yes.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, and actually, they were talking about,
It's on my list.
they didn't give us anything?
Nothing.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they were gonna come to a meeting too in October, weren't they? I'm gonna write
Yeah,
that
and
down.
I just said, as long as Lee isn't gonna be here, we're gonna be a two-armed
Right,
giant. We don't wanna load up the agenda with too many things that we wanna have Lee's input on.
Right, yeah. The only thing is, well, the intergovernment agreement, if that is finished, and I can get that at the end of the month, then hopefully
be great.
you can get a chance to look at it.
You can look at
And
it.
give your name to it. It should be pretty,
Simple.
yeah, no more than just update and new signatures is really basically what it's gonna be, and checking the legals of it, but.
Okay,
and you
well,
can do the loan paperwork, you can look at that too. 'cause
yeah,
that's
just so
pretty
you know that
straightforward.
we're gonna be playing this game.
Then we've got Waukesha County hosting a seminar presented by the Metropolitan Milwaukee Fair Housing Council on Wednesday, September 20th from 1 to 3. All invited. A question for you on yard waste pickup dates. They're wanting to set the dates for 2018. And normally I just go with whatever's closest to the last year, what we always do.
Yeah.
Just wondering if that's still what we want. I mean, I have some people that say the middle of May is too late. I have some people that say the end of our November is too late. I do realize that leaves fall when they fall and snow melts when it melts, but do we want to adjust anything, I guess, is just the question.
Did they have suggestions when they inquire?
Just that, depending on which way it is, it's too late or it's too early,
Yeah.
or it's never too early. It's
Yeah.
too late.
Never right.
And
It's never right.
Well, if it's too early, then, more leaves
It's
fall.
not too
and-
early. No, it's always too late. Oh, I can't wait that long. I gotta do something with this stuff now, because I'm cleaning it up now, so, I don't know.
Leave it the way it is.
Yeah,
All right.
around the middle of.
Until you can justify it.
Well, yeah, I suppose if I got a lot more complaints, but, the next ones, though, are coming up here. I think it hits the same day as the run, so it'd be November 4th,
Okay,
but they never conflict.
yeah, it's never been a problem.
They never intersect. This is pretty much for you, I believe. The DOT is changing their local road improvement program. They're using a web-based application, and it uses our WAMS user ID. So really, this is probably something that you and I need to talk
All
about,
right.
because we already have one of these for our recycling grants and things.
Okay.
So we'll have to
Put
get
that
together
on
on that.
note.
Do you know anything about a Jefferson County Library exemption minimum? A reminder came to all municipal libraries in Jefferson County that your village or city must tax and appropriate a minimum amount to your library fund for 2018 expenditures in order to qualify for this exemption. You heard anything about this? We're not on the list. City of Lake Mills is, though. I just thought that was interesting, especially with everything that was going on with Cambridge, trying to raise money for the libraries and things. I don't know any more than this letter about this, but thought it should probably be brought to your attention.
Yes.
Okay, Highway 134 reconstruction update. Contractor has completed paving and is working on shouldering now. Even though the surface is paved, the roadway is still closed through traffic. There's still restoration and other miscellaneous work that needs to be completed. So that was as of Friday. Got the updated map for the Tyranina Oktoberfest bike ride, which is on Saturday. And then Enbridge sent some stuff, this pipeline awareness newsletter they send quarterly, I think. And they're having a tour and luncheon at Enbridge's Waterloo Pump Station on Thursday. If you guys would like to attend, we have an invitation.
Yeah, I'm RSVP to it already.
So
Okay.
you're going to
Yeah.
bring the information back. I'm going to the Board of Adjustment.
Okay?
That
That's it.
just happens to be at 1 o'clock. Maybe I can do both. I don't think so.
Because I think the luncheon is first, I believe. I'm not sure.
That's all.
Okay. Item 12, meeting scheduled, September 20th. Meeting with city manager, 7:30 here. I'll be talking with you about that too. October 3rd, planning commission, town hall, 8 p.m.
Oops.
Yeah, October
October 3rd
3rd should be Joint Rock Lake Committee, 6 p.m. I guess we got to go back. We're going to have a workshop on the 30th. No, that's October.
Yeah, we're gonna have a.
We're going to have a road tour
road
on the
tour.
22nd
Yep.
at
I'll
8
get all
a.m.
that posted. Oh, and you're the only one going to Enbridge though, so I don't have to post that.
No,
Okay. Is there a county unit meeting coming up pretty soon? Or is that,
no,
seems like it's been a while.
it was July, so
Okay.
I haven't received
I
it.
haven't got a card.
I haven't either.
October 10th, next town board meeting, 8 p.m. Motion to adjourn. I move.
I will second.
Meeting is adjourned.
I'm just-